What is osmosis? This is going to be the question that we will answer in this video. We know that normally a solution is made of solvent plus solute. Solvent is the dissolving medium often present in large amounts, and the solute is the dissolved one often present in small amounts. If we relate it to biological fluids, such as plasma, we can say water is a solvent there, and plasma proteins, electrolytes, and other small and large particles collectively can be considered solutes. To understand the phenomenon of osmosis better, first, we will learn about three important terms. A solution or biological fluid can be hypertonic, hypotonic, or isotonic in comparison to their surrounding environment. When we say the solution is hypertonic, that means it has high concentration of solute as compared to outside environment, but less water content. Contrary to that, if a solution has more water content, but less solute content than the surrounding, then it is said to be hypotonic, as compared to surrounding environment. Now the third term is isotonic, and two solutions that have similar concentration of water, sugar, salts, electrolytes, and other constituents are said to be isotonic. Now, coming back to osmosis. Let's start with its definition. Osmosis is defined as a movement of a water molecule from a solution with high water concentration to a solution with low water concentration through a semipermeable membrane. So, what we get from this definition is that there must be some solution of high water concentration. That is the hypertonic one. A solution with low water concentration. That is the hypertonic one. And both must be separated by a semipermeable membrane. And water should move from a hypertonic one to a hypertonic one. Let me explain it here in depth. Suppose we have a container that has a semipermeable membrane at the center, dividing it into two equal halves. This semipermeable membrane is also selectively permeable, which means it allows only selective substances to pass through it. Let's name the left side of the container as side A and the right side of the container as side B. And suppose we have a hypertonic solution, which is a solution with high solute contents, but less water content in side A of the container. And a hypertonic solution, that is a solution with less solute content, but more water content in side B of the container. Now what will happen? Solute molecules would like to escape through the pores of a semipermeable membranes, as, by nature, they want to move from an area of high solute concentration, hypertonic, to an area of low solute concentration, hypotonic. But because of the large size of these solute particles, they will not be able to escape. To compensate for that, these large solute molecules will then try to pull the water molecules from the other side. That is the area of low solute but high water concentration. These water molecules are small in size than the solute particles, and so under the influence of that pull by large solute molecules, the water molecules will move through the pores of a semipermeable membrane from an area of high water concentration to an area of low water concentration. That is from side B to side A. Practically, water molecules will be moving from both sides, but the net movement will be in favor of pull by hypertonic solute particles. Also, it is considered that the movement of water molecules from the side with high solute molecules, that is side A, feels hindrance due to physical blockage by a large number of solute molecules. That's why the net movement of water molecules is from side B to side A. And thus, ultimately the volume of side A will increase, decreasing the volume of side B. And this movement continues until the osmolarity between both sides gets balanced. This movement of water molecules or fluid is very important, not only in non-biological environments, but also inside living beings. As in biological systems, osmosis is very essential. And why is it so? Because none of the biological fluid is simple water, but these are a combination of water and other components. And these components create some osmolarity in these fluids, making them hypertonic, hypotonic, or isotonic as compared to their surrounding. Also, many biological membranes are semipermeable, which leads to different physiological effects. Just as a capillary wall is semipermeable, that creates the same exact environment at the tissue level, as we explained above. And either material will move out or in the capillary also depends on this phenomenon of osmosis. But all these things happen under a physiological range, maintaining a balance between inward and outward movement of fluid, so that normal physiological functional do not get disturbed. But in certain pathological conditions, when animal cells are exposed to hypertonic surroundings, that means in the outside environment, there is more solute but less water content than inside. In that case, the water will leave the cells, following the phenomenon of osmosis, causing the cells to shrink. This condition is referred to as crenation. Crenation of red blood cells is sometimes seen in certain liver diseases, neurological diseases, or other illnesses. Conversely, when the animal cells are placed in hypotonic surroundings, that means the outside environment has less solute but high water content than the inside. In that case, the water molecules will move into the cells, following osmosis, causing them to swell. And if this osmotic movement continues and becomes excessive, the cells will eventually burst. And that's why the plant cells die, because of overwatering. And in animal cells, it may lead to intracellular edema. So, this was just a quick explanation of osmosis. Keep checking sqadia.com for more educational videos.
Explore our extensive library of over 1,800 video lectures to learn about a wide range of topics. Only on sqadia.com.